The small room was silent until a broken voice began to speak in the dark.
It did not sound like a bird, but like a person lost in deep despair.
He whispered a string of numbers over and over in a sobbing tone.
His chest was bare, where he had pulled his silver feathers out from grief.
Every time he spoke those digits, his body would tremble with fear.
I have rescued many birds, but I had never seen a soul so broken.
He refused to eat and spent his hours repeating that secret code.
Who taught him those numbers? And why did they cause him so much pain?
I knew that if I did not find the answer soon, he would fade away.
My name is Linda, and I have spent 20 years saving birds in need.
Every rescue tells a story, but some require more than just a cage.
Rob is our lead vet, and he knows how deep animal trauma can go. He has seen parrots pull their feathers when they lose a person.
This sanctuary is a place of peace for those who have nowhere to go.
But Echo was not finding peace, and the sanctuary felt like a cage.
Rob told me that Echo was fading, and we needed to act very fast.
I began to write down every sound that Echo made during the day. Our sanctuary was built on trust, but Echo did not know us yet.
On the first day, I moved slowly to show him that I was a friend.
But Echo retreated to the corner as if he expected a blow. I sat on the floor and kept my distance to give him some space.
Then I heard it clearly for the first time as he began to cry. 6500287 was the string of numbers.
Each digit was followed by a sob that sounded so very human.
I wrote them down while my heart felt heavy with a strange sorrow.
He was not just talking here. He was trying to tell me a secret. I promised him that I would listen until I understood him. I brought him colorful toys, hoping to distract his weary mind.
He did not even look at the wood blocks or the hanging bells. I tried fresh slices of apple and sweet grapes every single day.
But the fruit remained untouched while he pulled more feathers out.
I felt a rising sense of failure as his pain only grew worse.
Rob warned me that his skin was becoming raw and very sore.
Every discarded feather felt like a piece of his soul was lost. A gentle mist did not help to calm the fire in his chest. He just kept sobbing those numbers as if they were a prayer. I left the room feeling that I was losing a race with time.
The first week passed in a blur of worry and sleepless nights.
Echo was barely drinking, and his energy was starting to fail. By the second week, the silence of the room felt very heavy. He had plucked nearly all the silver from his small chest now.
Rob showed me the medical reports, and his voice was quite grim.
By the third week, I was desperate for any sign of hope.
He kept repeating the same digits in a thin, ghostly voice.
I had pages of those numbers, but still no way to solve it. He looked so small and defeated, sitting on the cold floor now.
Time was running out, and I could feel his life slipping away.
Rob looked at me and said that we had reached a critical point.
Self-mutilation was now a major risk to his health.
Infection could set in if the skin was left open and bare. If he did not stop now, his feathers would never grow back. His follicles were being damaged with every single pull. I had to find a way to reach him before it was too late.
The pressure of saving his life was weighing on my heart.
He was giving up on the world and fading into the dark.
I made a choice to stay with him through the entire night.
The clock struck midnight as I sat alone in the quiet dark.
Echo watched me with one golden eye through the silver bars. I began to tell him about the things I had lost before. I spoke of my own grief, so he would not feel all alone.
For the first time, he moved toward the sound of my low voice.
I held my breath and did not dare to reach out or to move. He let out a tiny sound that was not a sob or a cry.
We sat together in the silver light of the waning moon.
I knew that we had finally built a small bridge of trust.
As dawn arrived, I felt that the answer was very close.
A sudden glint of metal caught my eye on his small gray leg.
I reached for my small flashlight to see what was hidden there.
Echo did not flinch or move away as I clicked the beam on. The tarnished metal band was tight around his scaly gray leg. I could see some tiny letters and a few numbers engraved.
He seemed to want me to find the truth that he was holding.
The first 3 digits on the band matched his sobbing whispers.
My heart began to race as the pieces finally came together.
It was not a random code, but a forgotten phone number. I looked at Echo and promised that I would make the call soon.
I dialed the number with a hand that would not stop shaking now.
A man answered the phone with a voice that was full of surprise. He told me about his mother, who had lived all by herself. She had suffered a stroke and was rushed to the hospital ward. In her final moments, she had whispered a plea for her bird.
"Call my son and tell him I love him," she had said to Echo.
Echo had witnessed her fall and remembered her final words.
He was not just talking. He was trying to save her life, too.
I told him that his message had finally been delivered.
The tension in his small body began to melt away at last. He was no longer a bird alone with a heart-bracing secret.
The son had told me that walnuts were his mother's favorite treat. I offered the nut to Echo with a very soft and steady hand.
His pupils dilated as he recognized the familiar gift.
He took it from my fingers without any fear or hesitation.
I watched him eat his first real meal in over 3 long weeks.
The sound of the shell cracking was the music I needed most. He did not whisper the numbers as he focused on his food.
The weight of the secret had been lifted from his weary soul.
The healing had begun, and I knew that he would surely survive.
The son called me back to tell me the full story of his mother.
She had taught Echo that number in case of an emergency.
He was a faithful guardian who had never stopped his duty.
I decided that Echo deserved to be with his family again. The son was eager to bring his mother's best friend back home.
Rob agreed that this was the best path for his recovery.
He seemed to understand that a new chapter was beginning.
We prepared him for the journey back to the world he knew. I felt a mix of sadness and joy as I saw him leave us.
He was going home to the love that he had fought so hard for. 2 months have passed, and the sun is shining on a new day.
His silver feathers have grown back thick and very strong now.
He sits on the sun's shoulder and whistles a happy tune. I received a photo today of him playing in the garden. Parrots are a lifetime commitment that we must always honor.
They remember our love and carry our voices in their hearts.
Please support your local sanctuary and help us save a soul.
Because every animal deserves to have their secret heard.